Welcome to Revenge with Arya. Not the reaction I anticipated. Her laughter echoed through the crowded reception hall like she was dismissing a garage sale find. Not the $750,000 beachfront villa title I had just presented to her as a surprise engagement gift in front of 200 guests. Hello folks. My name is Arya Voss. I'm 32. And tell me what kind of best friend scoffs at a $750,000 property. My heart didn't sink. I didn't flinch. I just nodded because this instant was my revelation. The second my mind locked into precise alignment. Every snide remark, every undercut, every condescending eye roll over the years suddenly made perfect sense. At the head table, a cousin murmured behind a wine glass. Did she just say it's tacky? Another guest chuckled. And then my godmother leaned toward her husband and whispered, just audible enough. Well, Arya always picks understated stuff. Understated. A 4-bedroom, ocean view villa with infinity pool in Malibu. I leaned forward in my seat and observed my friend beam. Not with appreciation, but with arrogance, as if she was entitled to adoration. I didn't protest. I didn't justify. I didn't validate a penny. Instead, I met her gaze, the polished queen in her designer dress, and said, "No worries, it's all set." She grinned like she'd claimed victory. But right then, as the band cued the first dance, I slipped out my phone, and it took just one message. When I typed 4 words to the property lawyer I'd retained a month prior, just in case my suspicions proved true. Initiate rollback. Complete now. And she didn't notice. She didn't spot it. But I sensed it. That subtle buzz in my hand was the instant her whole reality tilted. She just hadn't realized yet. The following day, while she was en route to her Bali getaway, I was parked outside the Los Angeles County Recorder's office, nursing a black coffee like it was a routine Wednesday. Documents hit harder in broad daylight. My lawyer, Ms. Reyes, pushed the folder across the desk. All processed. Total ownership reversion. Deed is solely in your name. They'll receive the alert via registered mail this afternoon. Sign. Just like that, presumption dissolved into bureaucratic vapor. And here's where the personal touch stings. As I headed to my SUV, the valet who'd parked me before nodded. He had no clue about the silent nuclear strike I'd just deployed. On the drive back, my phone vibrated. Unknown caller. I ignored it. Then another ring 5 minutes on. Then 8. Then 12. When it ceased, a message from her fiancé appeared. Emergency. Contact us ASAP. I didn't. Instead, I drove to the villa proper, the one she deemed tacky. The waves crashed against the shore, visible from the deck like liquid silver. I lounged there on the chaise and could almost replay her snicker from the night before, feigning superiority amid all those attendees. She truly believed I'd overlook that. That's the irony of composure. Folks confuse quietude for vulnerability. By midday, her college roommate texted me on Instagram. The escrow firm says the villa isn't in her name. Mix-up. I captured the screen, archived it, because now, for once, they were the ones chasing explanations, and I hadn't uttered a word. By sunset, she landed and got signal at the resort. That's when the frenzy erupted. She rang 11 times. I let it go to voicemail. Then her mom, then her dad, then the fiancé. The family thread exploded like a storm. Arya, what happened? They're claiming the title's void. Oh, sort this out now. You've shamed us all. Dad, phone the lawyer stat. Arya, tongues are wagging. Fix it immediately. I contributed zilch. Instead, I screenshotted every outburst, every frantic plea, every veiled demand. And then, after ages, I felt serene. I strolled to my patio, poured a herbal tea, leaned on the railing, and simply inhaled. This wasn't vengeance. This was recalibration. This was equilibrium. The next dawn on their trip, instead of spa mimosas, they got the registered envelope at the concierge. Reversion finalized. Asset not conveyed. The staff delivered it in person. The messages flooded in moments later. Arya, have you lost it? We already boasted to his colleagues it's ours. Then another from the fiancé's sister. You've mortified her. Rectify it. Rectify. I responded at last with 5 words. Gratitude was the cost. You declined. Quiet. Then she pivoted. Alright, whatever. Can you at least redo the transfer post move? Maybe after we settle. That one had me chuckling in my own living room because this is what she never grasped. I didn't gift her that villa because she earned it. I gifted it hoping just once she'd opt for thanks over disdain. She didn't. So, I opted for the title over her. 4 days on, I'm at the office, serene afternoon, reviewing client briefs when my assistant Marco peeks over the partition and mutters, "Yo, your friend's going viral on TikTok." Like full-blown rant mode. I arch a brow. Over what? Marco pulls up the clip. Her venting about a betrayal and swiped luxury real estate. 500 reactions already. Half probing for deets she can't provide. Then mid-view her line lights up. Her expression drains. Some lady, your godmother, is dialing my cell. That's when I realized they were scraping contacts. I tell him evenly. Ignore it. He complies, flips the device down. At 1:45 p.m., I receive an alert from the escrow service noting they'd fielded a plea from her camp to restore her claim. Rejected. At 8:27 p.m., her fiancé's brother connects on Twitter, likely to probe. Block. At 3:19 p.m., her mom messages anew. This is spiraling. We mentored you. You owe allegiance. I ponder those terms briefly. Allegiance to those who mocked the present. To those who demeaned me for show before outsiders. My retort arrived deliberate, precise, unflawed. You can't deride the worth of a thing then insist on possessing it. No comeback. At 7:34 p.m., she played her final ploy. Fine, we'll expose you as the family traitor. No one will back you. I grinned because that was the pivot where I ceased being the overlooked friend in their tale and claimed authorship of mine. The day after her viral outburst, around 8:15 a.m. while I was in my yoga flow, mat unrolled by the window, a ping surfaced. Not hers, not her parents', not the fiancé's. It was from her fiancé's venture firm. Header. Asset verification inquiry. Paused, not from shock, just the sheer poetry. He'd paraded at the firm that he and his betrothed were elite Malibu owners. He'd leveraged the villa in a funding pitch. He'd vowed his partners a sunset soiree at their new pad. And now compliance was verifying his claims since his boasts hit audit radar. I answered in a single line. The asset resides solely under my ownership. No flair, no backstory, no drama. Truth suffices. 45 minutes later, she fired off a voice memo, tone quivering, pauses ragged. They're accusing him of fraud at the office. They could fire him. Arya, you have to reach out. Have to. Well, limits aren't malice. Limits are equitably precise. I messaged back. Your fallout isn't my duty. At 10:28 a.m., the fiancé DM'd me. We're pleading, please reinstate it, even short term. We'll reimburse eventually. Reimburse eventually. They hadn't even acknowledged it initially. I lingered there, coffee mug in grip, eyeing my reflection in the glass, and it dawned. This marked the premiere in our shared history where they begged, and I didn't yield. I didn't atone. I didn't diminish. For the first time, I wasn't the pliable friend. I was the boundary. I was the cap. And they had to confront it. A month later, I graced a startup founders summit in the hills. Tailored black suit, waves loose, a steadiness in my stride absent prior. At the networking lounge, I detected an approach. Not spatially near, but vibe-wise known. That aura of unease, that faint quiver of someone once dominant over me, now diminished. Pivoted. My friend hovered 8 feet off. No gloss, puffy eyes. Fingers fidgeting on her necklace chain. Her words a murmur. The debut in our lives sans facade. Arya, please. No spotlights, no spectators, no circle to dazzle. Just 2 women from the same orbit but molded divergent. She gulped. I don't need the villa now. I just need you to listen. And there. Not contrition but craving. Craving for entry anew. I cradled my flute lightly, sensing the cool rim on my skin. You can't return because your spotlight faded, I murmured. Her chin quivered. What's next for me? I drew air, the sort that tastes like freedom, and offered the sole axiom that heals. Evolve sans me. Her features crumpled like she'd lifelong awaited my rescue from her own flaws. But I wasn't her ladder any longer. I shifted, strode to the panel hall where peers who value merit beckoned. Merit outshouts entitlement. Influence outshouts acclaim. Empathy outshouts presumption. I entered a space of folks who perceived me, truly. And as the sessions commenced, I grasped authority isn't reclaiming assets. Authority is denying repossession. The subsequent morning, I entered the studio with my smoothie, skin glowing from rest. No chaos in my veins, just lucidity. By 11 a.m., my notifications were mayhem. Her fiancé's mom messaged me outright. We demand you reinstate the transfer today. This degrades our lineage. Demand. They speak as if existence is transactional. Then the gem, a memo from her dad. You're behaving villainously. This is psychological torment. You're dismantling your own confidant. Villainous. Well, villainous is falsifying docs, which coincidentally is what the auditor uncovered. Because amid their public unraveling, I'd engaged a forensic team 72 hours pre-engagement. Why? Instinct urged readiness. So, when my counsel rang at 12:03 p.m. and stated, "We detected anomalies in their filings, fabricated asset claims linked to you," I remained unmoved. I dispatched the dossier to the prosecutor's desk, dated, sealed, appended with the initial gift pact and reversion sanction. At 3:17 p.m., my phone hummed with 4 words from counsel. Filing approved. Vance. I reclined in my seat and shut my lids. Not reprisal, restoration. By 5 p.m. the distress was digital. Attendees from the event subtly revised their shares. Her fiancé scrubbed his brag post about coastal living at 32. His mom locked her accounts. And it struck me. Shame always ensnares the boastful quickest since they shun subtlety. That night, I lowered the shades, sparked a diffuser, and prepped a solo meal. Deliberate, hushed, tender. Tranquility resonates when merited. Around 10:15 p.m. my security cam pinged. Activity noted. I approached the console and loaded the stream. My friend on the stoop in her getaway attire. Eyeliner smudged, locks tangled, purse dangling like she'd trekked miles unshod. Trailing her, the fiancé rigid, abashed, averting the cam. She rapped softly, then firmer. "Arya, let us in. We must discuss." Her pitch fractured on discuss. Held position. She persisted. I didn't intend it. It was just posturing then. There. Not penitence, not insight, not atonement, reputation salvage. The fiancé advanced, tone subdued. Her folks are livid. Verse 2. We require closure pre-Monday. They proclaimed to our network the villa was secured. I remained immobile, mute within my domain. For muteness isn't frailty. Muteness is access revocation. He tapped again. Arya, you're devastating us. Again the unspoken verity. Some seek not bonds. They seek assets. I permitted them to linger. 2 shadows ensnared in mortification and alarm until the entry illumination auto-dimmed at 10:30. Then I texted her concise and pure. You ridiculed the worth. Now grasp the worth of that ridicule. Receive. No ellipses. No retort. Just 2 frantic figures facing a barred threshold they once sauntered past as elite. And for the premiere, I sensed the precise mass of authority settle where it eternally belonged, in my grasp.